This is a Headgum podcast.
The full name of the podcast is What If Wayne Brady's What If with Jonathan Mangum. Yeah. I said you should have with Jonathan Mangum on your tombstone. Wayne Brady, Drew Carey and friend die in horrible car crash.
No!
Also involved in the crash, Joseph Mangum.
Oh my God. Please tell me that we're rolling. Oh my God. See, this is how
Joseph Magnanimous.
This is how
his
you
longtime
start.
partner.
Oh my God, I'm crying.
His longtime partner. It's phrased in the way when somebody's been involved in a gay relationship, but they were ashamed to tell their family.
Yeah.
So no one will ever know his name.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wayne had a friend. He had a special friend.
J. Edgar Hoover's housemate.
Hey y'all, so you're listening to
J.
us.
Edgar Hoover was gay.
This is a very unorthodox
In case
way
you
to
never
start a podcast, but we don't care. This is What If. I'm Wayne Brady.
I'm Jonathan Mangum.
And what if we do this podcast where we invite friends from the world of entertainment, comics, musicians, literary folks, just people who have something to say and who are smart and funny and that we like to hang with. And we pitch them to talk to us about the multiverse, life, and everything.
And everything's made up today, even our music, from Branson. And a very special guest today who will be giving us endless shit for the next hour.
No.
It's TV's Drew Carey.
Hi, everybody. Hi. Oh, hi. How you doing?
Hey, Drew Carey. Welcome to the show, sir.
It's good to see you. And with Jonathan Mangum.
That's right.
I'm so happy.
You guys, if you're just tuning in now, if you didn't join us from the very beginning, it's he was giving Jonathan shit about where his name falls in the thing. And you know what? It wasn't like a choice to put your name there.
Oh, yeah? Was it going to be called Jonathan Mangum's What If with Wayne Brady?
No.
Was that the original name?
The name was it's strictly marketing, man.
The way I look at it is no one else's name is after the with. It's just me.
It's just you because you are right. Like it's where I go, you go, and vice versa. So folks know that.
See, Drew?
Yeah.
See, I have a real friend right here.
See?
Yeah.
Now in the bathroom, that's a weird ass way to start off a
Wow,
sentence.
we're going there.
In the bathroom, I just had this thought because, of course, I'm thinking about.
That's where you think.
Come on now. It's almost harder to have a conversation with someone you know in these things because you know them, so you're thinking of stuff to talk about. And I was going to say, it hit me all of a sudden. The way that the world works is because of you and you saying yes to Whose Line Is It Anyway? And when Dan Patterson and Hattrick brought it over to ABC, Drew had the biggest sitcom on the planet at the time.
No,
and,
Friends was the biggest sitcom on the planet.
well, I mean the funniest one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean what I say what I mean.
All right.
That because you said yes to that show and then you agreed to do it, then I got on it for an episode, and then
you
more.
were already on the English one, though.
I did a guest spot on the very fast. It
Oh,
was
I thought you
so
were a regular
fast.
on the English one.
No, dude, I
Because
was
Dan
on
Patterson was like, "Oh, we got to get this guy Wayne Brady. He's so good."
because he saw me do one, and they cut my one into three, which is what they do. And
Right.
I'm lucky enough that he wanted to, but he had to get network approval. And even after all that junk, you were the first person in Hollywood. I will honestly, and I'll never forget you for this. You were the nicest. We were doing a red carpet, and if anyone here, and you felt this before, because I have, you walk onto a red carpet when no one knows you. They don't give a shit, and they like less of it. Like they hurt your feelings almost.
No flashbulbs going off.
No first it'll be flashbulbs, and then none when you come down, and then they look down. They have the nerve to look down and then look at the to me. So
They lower the camera as if a digital, like it's not even
Right.
film. It's like it takes nothing to make me happy and pretend you're going to use a picture.
Fun fact: when you do these red carpets, most of the time, or a lot of the time, the photographers, especially the main ones, will have a sheet with pictures of all the stars that are supposed to show up, what their name is, where they're from, so they don't have to go who the fuck is that, you know. That's when you know something's wrong when they're looking at the picture going like, okay, who's this guy?
Meeny, meeny, miny.
Yeah.
Mine always says with Jonathan Mangum.
Yeah.
Even if nobody else is there, it's with Jonathan Mangum. You were the nicest.
+1.
You said to the report, and I'll never forget this because it was just so weird that it was so cool. You're like, hey, you need to take picture of this guy because as soon as the show starts, you're going to know his name. And I remember one guy's like, whatever. And that really happened.
What happened? Yeah.
So thank you. And you were so nice to my mom. You were super nice to my mom.
I'm big with the moms. Well, both of you are famous because you're talented. You know what I mean? Like all I did was want funny people on the show to make me look good and the show look good. And then you guys were so funny. Of course you're going to be famous. And you know what I mean? Like it's insane that you wouldn't be.
Yeah, but it's not everyone who's talented gets someplace and not everyone who's talented, it's a thing.
Jonathan. The name's Jonathan.
Right.
Mangum.
Do either of you have, because it happens to me all the time, and I know it's very common, imposter syndrome, where you think like, oh, if they knew all these other super talented people I know, I wouldn't have a job, or I lucked into this, and as soon as they find out that there's like, when I took over for The Price is Right, everybody thought like the people on the production crew told me like, oh, they didn't know if the show was even going to be on anymore after Bob retired. Like they didn't know what was going on because they were having such a hard time finding a host. They were auditioning a bunch of people, and nobody was clicking. And I refused to audition for them. They offered me the show, and they reached out to me and they asked me if I would want to come in and do an audition show, and I told them no. Like a flat out no, like, you know what I do. I already hosted things. I'm not coming in, dog and pony, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hire me or not. It was my attitude. I was already kind of retired. And I'm glad I did, because who knows? I might not have got the show if they would have known. When I look back at the early shows, I think I was so bad compared to what I am now. I mean, I'm way better now than I was when I first started.
Well, of course, like we're all bad. And I say that on the relative
like,
scale.
Super bad.
I say on the relative scale because it's an unknown thing, and especially both of us stepped into legacy shows.
Yeah.
So you're stepping into expectations of other people, and especially because it's daytime, you even more so. When your brand of humor, you're like, this is how am I going to be funny within the confines of this thing, which is a beast and a machine that moves like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you're bad at first because you're trying to figure shit out.
Yeah. And at first I thought it was, I'm doing okay. And then but I look back now and whenever we had like an anniversary show and I had forced to see a clip. I never watched myself on TV ever. I hate watching myself on TV. And I was just like, oof, how did I how did I scam this out? When we were doing Whose Line, I was best friends with Sam Simon, one of the creators of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
We were, he came to a early taping, and he walks over to my desk and he leans into my desk and he goes, this is part show. This is half show, half scam. And he started laughing, and I go, I know. He goes, you're not doing a damn thing. I go, I know. They're doing all the fun. I go, I know.
That's hilarious.
Everybody, you guys do all the funny stuff, and I would just laugh and read the card, and then hit the button, and then I had to do a hoedown, but I didn't have to do a good hoedown. Because I could afford to do a bad hoedown. Everybody goes, that's really funny watching Drew Carey struggle. And when Sam said that, I was like, shh, don't tell anybody.
That's part of the magic is
we love your show. Thanks.
And so many people, when I say so many, I don't mean an overwhelming. 11 people. There are so many diehard Whose Line fans, right?
Oh, yeah.
But then they get split into these camps. There were the ones that absolutely hate Aisha as host on the show, and their whole thing is, I remember when Drew was on it. I love Drew. And then there are those who are like, oh my God, I'm so glad that Aisha would. And then I want to say to both camps, it's like, well, if you have fixated on either host, then you've missed the whole show.
Man, ChatGPT could host that fucking show.
then you
don't tell the CW that. They'll probably do it.
They will do. There will be an iPhone sitting at that desk. There will be an iPhone and an iPad.
Yep.
and then we'll be out of a job too.
I was going to say, it's crazy to me to
It'll
see
be
that
a
we're
cute, cute Japanese rubber robot is what it'll be.
cute Japanese.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Hello.
We're all in daytime game show television. And
Wild.
yet, if you go see
The
us live,
filthiest.
it's the filthiest, dirtiest shit you're going to see. It's so bizarre to me.
I had a book called Dirty Jokes and Beer.
Yes.
Where all I did was like cop to being like the dirtiest comedian. And I remember doing stand-up and doing jokes about The Price is Right, and people after the show go, well, I'm never going to watch The Price is Right the same again. And I was like, yeah, I don't think you will.
What was your first book? It was
Dirty Jokes and Beer. That was the only one.
okay. That's another book that when I met you, I read that book because I was like, I want to get to know.
It's not great
the
literature.
guy. No, but you did set me up.
You were supposed to disagree with me.
Oh no, it's horrible. It's horrible. No, but what you did do is I love how you broke down show business because
I was right.
dude.
Yeah.
I teach a class now at USC, and there were times.
What?
Oh, I'm an adjunct professor, my friend. Oh yeah.
This guy.
Dude. Oh yeah, I'm fancy as hell. But I've brought up a paraphrasing of something that you've said because, these are young actors. They want to go out into the world and they're doing this whole thing. And I remember when I read your book, you likened showbiz to high school.
Yeah, that was I heard that on Letterman, and that's a phrase that was already around. It's like high school with money.
Got you. And the way that you broke it down, though, I took that to heart because I really was like, okay, if I think of it as a high school there are people that are the seniors and they're doing this thing, and if I think of me in my place and I'm coming up, then it'll help me navigate this weird ass, fake ass at times business. And you really helped me. You really helped me get my mind around it.
I think I really am like sitting with the marching band at lunch. You know what I mean? Like I'm not sitting with the jocks.
I literally know what you mean.
I was in the marching band.
I was in the marching band too.
What'd you play?
In marching, I played trumpet, which you did too.
Me too.
Yeah.
Wow. This shit got weird. That was awesome.
I played trumpet and I was in college. When I was at Kent State for my freshman year, I was in the marching band too. Third chair. I was first chair. I was first trumpet in high school, then I was third trumpet in college.
Bitch.
Like, yeah, I know. And I was like,
with Drew Carey.
Yeah. I didn't like being third trumpet, and I didn't like being not the best guy in the trumpets or one of the best people in the trumpet section.
Yeah.
But I'd quit taking lessons and everything. I just knew how to play, and I thought it'd be a fun way to meet people and socialize to be in the marching band. And it was, but I was like, oh, these guys are so much better than me.
Yeah. Were you a screamer? Could you get up way in the wee?
Oh, yeah.
Screaming stuff? Oh, yeah.
E above C.
Yeah. Sweet.
E above high C.
Yeah.
That was my highest note. I was prided myself on that.
Yeah.
See, I forget that you were a musician. I think we talked.
I can play
about that
Flight of
once.
the Bumblebee, and I would play along. I would put on like Blood, Sweat, and Tears albums and play along with the album. I joke around with my musician friends where I just spend a lot of time counting rests. If you play the trumpet,
Whole
you're
notes
like,
and rests.
yeah. If you play the trumpet, you're like 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. That's all you do in your head, and you look at the other players, and you'd be like with your fingers. 2. You want 2? Okay, good. 3, because you lose track. There's so many fucking rests all the time when you're playing trumpet.
Yep. Could you still play?
I still have a trumpet, and I keep threatening to play again. I also played accordion when I was little, so I really want to do is be good on the accordion or be decent on the accordion, because I think that would blow people's minds to see me play accordion.
And you could use it in your act.
Yeah, and I could use it. Lately my hobby is I've been live DJing.
Yeah.
Because I had a radio show on Sirius for like almost 15 years, honestly. I would do once a month. And then for the last 5 years, I was on 6 years. I did a once a week show. It was called the Friday Night Freakout. And it was 3 hours. And I get to make, by that time, they trusted me to make my own playlist. So I just pick all my own tunes. I was a weekend jock and we picked all my own tunes. And I had to pick, it was all rock and roll within the format, but we have a really wide kind of format. So I would play modern punk, modern songs, classic. It was all garage band based, and then worked out from influences and afterwards. So I would play like early like Little Richard or Bull Moose Jackson. You know Bull Moose Jackson?
No.
Oh my God, one of the original like bop blues guys that influenced rock and roll. Like these guys who were around in Little Richard time, or they set the tone for rock and roll forever with the backbeat and everything. Bull Moose Jackson's amazing. And so people like that. And then I would play like Amyl and the Sniffers and Yard Act and bands like that are popular now and everything in between. And I quit doing the show, and then I was like, I still have this itch to play music, because every week I'd put together a playlist, and I'd put it like in key, beat style, like every 5-song set was like musically intact, and I had this deep knowledge of rock and roll music and pop music, and I didn't want to waste it, so I bought a little $300, $400 deck, and those little starter decks that do 90% of everything
right
a big deck does, and
Big deck.
and then I took lessons online and still do, and I started doing like live DJ gigs.
What? Did
Where?
you know this?
No, I didn't know about the DJ. I knew about the show. Where do you DJ?
So the first big one
Ibiza.
I did, no, I'm not like that level, but I did like as you know, I got into Phish lately, the band Phish. So I saw him New Year's Eve, and there's a guy that's on Phish Radio, and him and his partner are DJs on Phish Radio on Sirius, and they usually do after parties when Phish plays. They DJ after parties. All the Phish fans go to these after parties, and
After 3 hours of jamming, they go to an after party?
oh yeah, because the
No,
drugs,
3 hours is intermission. Then after the next 3 hours, that's when they after.
Wow.
yeah, there was always an after party and a pre-party. You know, like they'll see a band or something before the Phish concert, go see Phish, and then because the drugs last a long time, you don't want to waste the drugs. You know, all the drugs these guys do. It really is kind of amazing. And then
They're pickled at that point.
yeah. And then so I DJ'd the after party New Year's Eve. It was really fun. I played an hour of funk. My joke was that it was funkier than James Brown's Gym Socks.
Who's your favorite funk band?
Oh man, James Brown is the godfather of funk.
Though it's argued, and I mean, no one is alive to settle this argument, but you know the whole beef between James Brown and what's the gentleman's name? Tex? Gosh.
I gotcha.
Yes, him. And there was a whole thing about their women, that there was a woman that they had in common. Joe Tex. Thank you.
I gotcha.
And not just the woman, but like their style. Just like, well, you bit my style. Well, I got your woman. I did it. So like there was a whole thing.
Really?
So it's been argued that Joe Tex
did have put that bite in his voice and that screaming. I gotcha.
Yeah, he had the thing first. Because if you listen to early James Brown, he didn't go, please. He had such a sweet voice. He's a sweet tenor.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of funk, everybody that comes on the show gets their own theme song.
Everybody
gets their own theme song. You can jump in if you want, but this is going to be the funk James Brown, Joe Tex, Drew Carey theme song.
Drew Carey theme song. We call it a dream song. Hey, good guy. Who it is?
Who's on the one, two?
Drew Carey.
Who it is on the 1-2? Drew Carey.
Good guy.
Who's that man walking down the Holly?
Come on.
He's looking smiley. He must have had some Molly.
Yeah.
Making everyone happy, making them dance.
Woo.
Gonna see some fish, gonna drop my pants.
Everybody put your hands up in the house.
Hey.
Who's that motherfucker? Is that dead mouse? No.
Oh.
Drew Carey, white dude host. It's you ready? If drugs, he got the most. He got the funk, the get down, the good God, the get with the women with the body. Flying to Ibiza, flying to Spain. He got the DJ and he try to contain Drew Carey.
Taking the drugs and the Red Bull. DJ Tiesto, no, DJ Tiesticles. Drew Carey.
He's half sharp as a stiletto. First met him, motherfucking doing Geppetto.
Yeah.
Come a long way since Drew Carey show. On the ones and twos, just watch him go. Drew Carey.
Drew Carey.
No,
That's your theme song.
Nice.
That's your theme song.
That was great.
You can use that wherever you go.
That was great.
Good God.
You know, my DJ name is, so when I saw Phish, I sent out a tweet that it was so phenomenal when I saw him at the Sphere, and I would make jokes about my friend who's into Phish, you know, like how lame they were and like who the fuck would go see Phish. Not that they were lame, but like I don't want to listen to a guitar solo for 20 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But that's not what they do, by the way. But that was in my head.
Well, please explain it to someone who has never seen a jam band like that. What does Phish do?
They're musically so far ahead of everybody who performs. It's like watching a symphony or something. They all take turns taking the lead around a theme, and they'll start out. You know, when you're taking music lessons, did you have the Arbans book?
I don't know the Arbans book, no.
Oh, that's a real famous trumpet.
No.
Anyway, you know when you're taking music lessons and they have like etude and variations?
Yep.
So there's these exercises where you start out with that tune and then they waltz it up or they speed it up and then all of a sudden it's 16 something, then you're back to the thing. That's what a Phish concert is like.
Hey, Jonathan, you know what I heard?
What'd you hear?
That you were feeling a little stalled out in the bedroom.
See, those are private secrets.
I want to tell you a little something, though. Through Hims, you can get some of your gas back in the tank with personalized ED treatment options that are accessible without you ever stepping foot into a doctor's office.
Hims is changing men's health care by providing you with access to affordable sexual health treatments from the comfort of your couch.
Hims provides access to a range of doctor-trusted ED treatments like chewable tablets, Viagra, and Cialis, and their generics for up to 95% less.
With hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers, Hims can help you find the ED option that works for you.
Start your free online visit today at hims.com/whatif. That's HIMS.com/whatif for your personalized ED treatment options. hims.com/whatif.
I'm going to pretend to be a lawyer now.
Okay.
The featured products include compounded products which are not approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality by the FDA. Prescription required. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
When someone says that they're ahead, so far ahead, I personally, do I need to be on drugs to enjoy this?
No. But if you're a musician, you'll enjoy it 100% more than everybody else because they're all so freaking good, and they'll be super funky, and all their concerts have a flow. They never repeat a song. You'll go see them. You can see them all weekend, and you'll never hear the same song.
Did Sam Simon tell him it's half a show, half a
scan? Yeah. So one of the reasons that people love them so much live and they make their live shows because you, like when I saw them at the Sphere, like I'd already seen U2 3 times. I thought they were so good, and I like U2. I'm not like a huge Bananas fan like other people, although I like them. They're great. They're obviously, arguably one of the best rock bands and most successful, and Bono is one of the best frontmen ever. He could do that's who you want to be when you're a frontman. All that stuff. Full credit to U2. But I don't have a bunch of U2 albums. So I went to U2 and I go, yeah, I'll go see them because they're at the Sphere. It's opening up the Sphere. I always want to see it. And they blew me away. I was like, wow, this is amazing. Saw them 3 times. And so I wanted to see every act at the Sphere. So when Phish was playing at the Sphere, I only went there because they were at the Sphere. And I heard they did a good light show anyway. And I go, well, if I'm going to see him, let me go see him. And it blew me away. But the U2 show was the same show, with the same visuals every show. It was all, I saw the opening song was the same. Oh, wait, do you see this part? Phish had a different song list every show. They never repeated a song 4 nights.
Wow.
Never repeated a visual.
How long was the set?
They would do a 3-hour show every night.
Damn.
And every visual was different. Every song was different. They never repeated one thing. And then because they're improvising while they play, like you never see the same, like if you go see the same song, you won't see it. It'll be 7 minutes one night and 10 minutes another night, you know, and they can stretch it out if they're really feeling it. And then the light guy that they normally have, when I saw him at Madison Square Garden, he's like the 5th member of the band. He improvises all the lights. He doesn't know what they're going to be doing. So he just works the light board and has all the light things behind them move around and jam. And it really is, they'll start out with a theme for the song, and then they'll expand it. They'll get quiet. They started off one song, the drummer was like singing in waltz time and drumming in 3/5 at the same time. Something like that, where it's like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And he could just and then everybody like entered at their own pace. And then next thing you know, they're all grooving. And then next thing you know, the next phrase of the song kind of boomed. And then they bam, bam, bam. And they have all these great musical jokes. And so one song will be like a little banjoing and country, and then the next one will be the hardest funk you ever heard in your life. Then the next one will be something else, so like acid rock. They did this one song. When I first saw them at the Sphere, it was like this really driving like acid rock, like really fast, like 140 beats per minute, and they buttoned it up. They didn't fade out. They went bump, bump. That's how they ended it.
Branson, as a musician, have you seen Phish or listened to Phish?
Not. I've done Medeski, Martin, and Wood, but not Phish as much. I've steered clear. And the Miles Electric Band. That's like jam stuff that I've checked out.
Their keyboard player is like has like 8 keyboards and around him in a square.
Geez,
he's like one of those dudes.
Amazing.
Yeah, where you're just like, whatever sound he needs, if he needs a grand piano, an organ, this kind of organ, a synth, he'll just reach around and play one and play the other. He's like an octopus back there. Yeah, it's really phenomenal. And
Drew, you lived the life that the Drew Carey Show was so successful, and then you've had Whose Line and The Price is Right. You've been able to live this life where you were part owner of the soccer team.
Still am.
Still, okay.
Seattle Sounders.
Okay. Friggin', you were taking pictures. At one point, you were an amateur photographer.
Professional level photographer. Yeah. I shot the World Cup in Germany.
Whoa. Weren't you in Sports Illustrated? Did they put you in Sports Illustrated?
I had a tiny little picture that got sold to Sports Illustrated. Like it's part of a collage thing, but I can, if I really wanted to, I could make that one of my credits.
DJ, people don't really understand. I don't think that people know that you are as varied interests and accomplished as you are.
So are you, though. When you're creative, you just want to be creative. Like, you don't want to be, there's no such thing as a creative person who does only one creative thing. I own a photo print from Ringo Starr, because he did photography. It was a big hobby of his, and I own one of his prints. It's great. Ronnie Wood sketched.
Yeah.
All kinds of artists have like an art thing going on or a poetry thing going on besides their music, or if they're an actor, they also like to do another thing.
But we get it though. But
you have all kinds of creative hobbies.
Yeah, well, they're not even hobbies, because it's actually what I do on stage. It's like from the singing to dancing to write. And now in the past couple years, I've become an author, and now I write sci-fi and I do all that stuff.
Yeah, you're creative.
But like, you fight, because the average person, I think the average person, that if you say, hey, Drew Carey, they go, oh yeah, that's the guy from the Drew Carey Show, or he does the one thing that they like to put you in that thing.
And that's fine. I think I'm really good at hosting The Price is Right, and I thought I was a really good stand-up comic. And I know when I do these other creative things, I know where I sit on the totem pole. Like, I'm not Tiesto and I DJ. I'm like I tell my friends I'm like a rhythm guitar player in a bar band. Level, like I can play
Tiesticles,
but don't look for me to headline a festival or anything like that. I'm not that good, and the kind of music I play isn't that. Like, I don't play the most popular DJ music, but I like doing it, and I can go to a rock and roll club and just murder the place if I wanted to. And I did great after the Phish con. Played that hour of funk was really good, and everything flowed, beats per minute, key, all that thing. The transitions were great. It's professional level, but that's fine for me because I've already got a job.
You say that, but I also know how completely competitive you are.
Very competitive.
Do you remember the time you didn't talk to me for a week?
Yeah.
Because we were playing Rise of Nations?
Who won?
I think you know. Well, you won. It's a real-time strategy PC game.
Right.
And it was me and you were playing with your brother. And I was in third place. I was going to lose this game. And you and your brother were kind of in the lead to see who was going to win. And you turned to me and you said, we're on our PCs. You go, I'm going to attack my brother, so don't come at me from behind right now. Like, you said that to me. So you sent all your troops. And so I go, the only way I can possibly win is to attack you from behind. And I did, and you were furious. I couldn't have won anyway, but you were so mad that I betrayed you. Like, you did not talk to me for a week while I was on your sitcom.
He did explain.
I don't remember that.
But you did explain. Now, to be fair, as a big man child that loves games, he did explicitly say, "Don't attack me. I'm going to." You did step on his dick.
But it's a game where you try to win.
Right.
I had no chance of winning.
It's a dick stepping game.
It's a dick stepping game.
But also it was like, well, we started playing for about a week, and you go, hey, look at this. And you show up with a hardback book on the how to play Rise of Nations. You studied it for hours.
Well, you introduced me to it because I was playing Civilization.
Civ, which is a turn-based game.
Right. And I was also into Second Life.
Yeah.
And you would make fun of me for that.
Well, of course.
You got me turned on to Second Life. That Second Life was one of the rich white person, most richest, whitest things I've ever seen in my life, where you could be wealthy and afford to go online.
More than Coachella?
And Coachella is Second Life, but now. Where you can afford to go online and build your own home with real money. It's like, oh yeah, I just bought a car and a house in real life. There are people trying to buy homes and cars in real life, and you could buy it. That was the first time I'd ever seen that. I was like, holy shit, Drew Carey's on the next level.
But I love your Second Life, what your character said. Do you remember what the description of your character? It said, in real life, I'm a TV celebrity, but in this game, it was a twist on it. It was really funny.
Yeah, I really did make like a reference to myself.
Yeah.
Like, I'm super popular and everybody loves me. That's what I said.
Yeah.
In real life, I'm very popular and everybody loves me.
Yes.
Your house was dope.
I do have a good play. Yeah, I have a whole new setup now. I'm always changing it, but yeah.
Wait, you're still on?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm not quitting. It's the sunk cost theory. I've already spent so much money and time. I'm not quitting.
Is there still a big fan base playing that?
No.
Yeah.
I've always thought it would be amazing to do Second Life, but in VR. That if you could, like that house and all that stuff that you do, and be able to, I'm going to put this vase here.
Yeah,
and
you
the
have to
painting
do.
here.
They were playing around with it, so you can't do VR, but you can emulate your screen, on your Meta 3 or whatever. So that's like the hack.
Okay.
Is to wear a VR headset like a Meta 3, a Quest 3, and then emulate your screen. Or you can also do it on your Apple Vision Pro. I have both. I have Apple Vision Pro and a Quest 3.
It's you and me. Because those things did not say, I thought it was, I called him.
Have you tried typing and doing work with the Apple Vision Pro?
That's
one?
why I stopped using it. I'm laying in bed. I thought, okay, now I can do my emails and then you have to go.
Well, if you get a Bluetooth keyboard.
But that defeats the purpose, doesn't it?
The Apple Vision 3, that's such a rich game show host thing. Us the announcers, we can't afford that shit.
And Jonathan.
Oh, man.
No, but you could get that iPad Pro.
Oh, maybe
right?
I can. Yeah,
come on now.
All right, I'll take it.
All right, the 12.5 screen.
It's kind of like, when I first got my, when Apple Watch came out, I was like, who would buy an Apple Watch? It was kind of I know.
I love it.
I have one. I didn't wear it today. But yeah, I love it. But I went to the Apple store. I was in Vegas. I went to the Apple store and I was like looking at them. And I was like, I don't know about these Apple Watches. And the genius guy, the salesperson said, well, I'll tell you what I tell everybody else. You don't need it, but it's really cool to have.
Bingo.
And that sold me. And I go, well, let me get one then. A few $100, who cares? So I bought it and I loved it. And then I was on a road trip and I was checking into the Ritz-Carlton in Cleveland. And the guy that was checking me in had like a fancy watch on. He was like a watch guy. And he goes, oh, I see you got one of those new Apple Watches. And I go, yeah. And he goes, how do you like it? And I go, I'll tell you what the salesman told me. You don't need one, but it's cool to have. Kind of like a watch.
True.
Like who needs wear it because it's cool to wear.
Yeah.
You can find the time on your phone. Like people actually have trouble selling a watch now like they used to. Unless it's an Apple Watch or something, or a super fancy guy watch where guys want to get into watches and they're wearing like Rolexes and whatnot.
And the Philippe Patek. Is that the name?
Fossil.
Fossil.
Yeah, the Fossil.
Fossil.
Going back to you talking about Drew being competitive, before we started, we were talking about our new love, and Jonathan is even more into it than I am. Super competitive.
What's up, pickleball?
That's
Pickleball.
right. Pickleball.
We love pickleball. Jamie Foxx has built a pickleball court, has a pickleball line. I'm going to get into pickleball stuff, but you scoffed at us. And we even told you that our crew on Let's Make a Deal, which we share with you guys at Price is Right, they come out with us and they play pickleball. We have tournaments.
Barack Obama invented a new pickleball kind of paddle.
He did?
No.
Oh.
I was just trying to make it sound cooler than it was.
Yes, he did. Yes, and.
Is that why Michelle's divorcing him?
Oh, rumors, half-truths.
I know. That's not true. I just never... We give away pickleball equipment on The Price is Right, and even then I roll my eyes.
Well, if you're thinking you're going to get a car and you get a pickled equipment, everyone's going to roll their eyes.
Do you ever roll your eyes when a prize comes out?
No, because the camera's on me. No, but I do... No, but my thing is, I am very snarky about prizes. Like, we've reached a point where... I will say stuff about the prizes, never disrespectfully completely, but if a certain prize comes out, I'm like, oh, well, good for you. And you've won, it's camping equipment for the 87-year-old lady. Good job, Grandma.
Yeah.
Good. So
I'm
the
same way.
Talk shit about the prize.
I got in trouble and they told me not, they got really mad at the one executive. So I never met the guy, gave me a bunch of shit that I absolutely couldn't do it anymore. He was one of the salespeople that sold.
Oh.
And he, like if there'd be a grocery product, like a bag of chips, I would reach over to a bag of chips and just crush them and just smash the bag of chips and like, all right, bag of chips. And I would go crunch and just walk away.
I've seen Wayne do a thing where we've had it's like so-and-so in cookies by Mrs. Freshley's, whoever we had. And then Wayne will go, Mrs. Freshley. He'll improvise a whole song about Mrs. Freshley's cookies. And then they tell us not to do that anymore because they're getting too much for their ad buy. Don't love them so much.
So we're giving them too much love.
Oh, this guy was like, listen, we're selling ads for these. They might buy an ad in prime time and you're smashing the bag and it makes it look bad. You have to quit doing that. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I'm not making it look bad. I'm making a joke.
Yeah.
They should be glad I'm smashing their fucking.
They are very serious. They are very serious about their ad.
On Price is Right, when I first started, the first year, Rich Fields would read all the copy from every grocery item all the time and exactly how the company wanted him to read it. So he would get the copy from the manufacturer, from the company, and whether it was sponsored or not, they would just read it that way. You know, how they want it described. If birds bought birdseed, they'd always buy Birdola. I'll never forget that one because we had Birdola birdseed on all the time. And then I was talking to Mike and I was like, are they all paying us? Because it was something about some copy they had to redo.
Mike's was the new EP at the time.
Yeah. And it's like, no, that's just how they want us to do it. And I'm like, that's bullshit. Like, pay us or we're not going to fucking tell you. Why would we read your copy for you if you're not paying us? So right now, if you watch The Price is Right because of me and this chip on my shoulder, we'll say it's a 12-ounce can of soda when it's clearly a brand.
Yeah.
You know, we'll just show the brand. We'll just say it's a 12-ounce can of soda.
Then why do you read all that stuff?
They just hand it to me and tell me to read it.
If they pay us, we'll say it's boba tea from the boba tea company. And if Birdola about the bird, if we describe it in detail,
Jonathan goes into elaborate detail.
Yeah. I think from now on, I'm going to go, like you said, it's a can of soda. Pay us, bitch.
Yeah. That's what I feel like. I want to show the soda upside down or blur it out for the TV. And if you want it unblurred, fucking pay us. We'll unblur it.
You're holding it hostage?
Yeah. It just drives me crazy that people get on the show for free.
It's a very odd business, but I've come to really love the people component of it because that's the cool part is when people win things and they lose their minds. And especially, because I interview them sometimes as we're talking when people are really like, hey, my house just burnt down because of the fires and I just lost a car and my daughter this or my
thanks for the camping gear.
Right? So we're pulling from this like, please give them good prizes.
You could use this camping gear.
So he said, you could row away from your troubles, Grandma. It's like, go, Grandma. Trying to, it's so cool to see people be happy. That's the part of it that we like because the business part of it can just be weird.
Yeah, I love when people are having their best day. They're the stars of the show.
Yeah,
that's honestly the secret.
Yeah. Oh, the point I was making, so when you would send out, in the old days, you would send out a mass mailing or a thing like, I'm going to send out 5,000 things about my dry cleaning store in the city. And they would there's a thing that they would call, still do when people send out mass mailers, an open rate. How many people even open the envelope when they get that junk mail?
Right.
1%, half a percent would be a good open rate. So you'd send out 5,000 hoping for 0.5% or 1% to open it. And of those people that open it, how many people are going to take action? So if you knew you sent out 5,000 mailers, you would end up with 50 customers coming in. That might be, and out of those 50, 5 might be loyal, but it's worth it to you to spend that money.
Yeah.
That's exactly the same stats for marketing something on Twitter or putting an ad on the TV. A million people might see it, but very small percentage are going to take it action and try it or use it. And I've also been to seminars on, because of the Sounders on sports marketing, when things are like, this is the official detergent of this football team. Well, unless you're a fan of that football team, you don't give a shit. And if you're not a fan of that football team, you're never going to buy it. Now you just made an enemy out of every other.
Because I hate football so much.
Or you hate that team. And if they're the official sponsor, if this potato chip is this official sponsor of the team you hate, you're never going to buy that chip. It happens with race car drivers, like NASCAR drivers. If Tide is the sponsor of a car and you don't like that driver, you're never going to be using Tide. You know, but if you do use Tide, you'll use more of that if you're a fan of that driver. It's real tricky when people make these kind of deals about what they're going to do and how they're going to market things.
I got an envelope in the mail yesterday, a marketing envelope, and it was in the window. You could see through the envelope before you opened it. You could see there was $1 bill in the envelope. And so I opened it, and it was $1 bill.
Wow.
And I just took the rest. I looked, I was like, you dumb son of a bitch. I threw it in the trash.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you just gave me $1 and you're dumb. And so I threw it away. Which doubled down on my thought. No, I'm like, you're so dumb. I'm going to show you how dumb you are.
How dumb are you?
It's by taking the $1 and putting that in the trash.
Why so negative? I would have opened the envelope and said, "Oh man, $1. Thank you so much, God. That's so sweet that I've been
Listen
blessed
to Wayne
with
Brady
this
sling this
$1 bill.
bullshit on his own podcast.
Man, I've been blessed. I've been blessed by this $1. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, sweet Jesus, for blessing me with this $1.
You're welcome, Wayne. I sent you a letter in the mail.
Oh, hey. White Jesus?
It's me, White Jesus.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I wanted to thank you for all the blessings.
Brown Jesus, you want to come out here? Talk to Wayne?
No, I'm busy.
All right. Sorry, it's me, White Jesus.
No, it's okay.
Look, I have a lot of followers.
Yeah. How many followers do you have on Twitter?
Let me check. Over 20,000.
You have over 20,000. I have more followers than you do. Well, so thank you.
The Beatles got in trouble for saying they were more popular than Jesus.
Oh, but I'm not talking about the real Jesus. I'm talking about
White Jesus?
White Jonathan Jesus.
Is Drew Carey in your house, Wayne?
Yeah, that's how popular I am. I have Drew Carey in my house.
I'm the angel Gabriel.
Because he blows a horn.
Why is he wearing those tight pickleball shorts?
Because I like pickleball. It's God's game.
It is God's game.
See, that's a great slogan. Pickleball. It's
God's game.
Yeah, Christians for pickleball. I want to start a group.
CFP. Here's $1.
Please don't start that group, because that group would take off and become super popular.
And then ruin pickleball.
Ruin Jesus.
You must come play pickleball with us, man. You are competitive.
You need to do it.
You are competitive. Our crew plays. Your crew is our crew. We could have a team where Let's Make a Deal versus Price is Right.
We should do it.
For charity.
The Drew Carey show played ER in
basketball.
No, in Call of Duty.
No, it was the other one where you're in World War II.
No, it wasn't Call of Duty.
Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor.
Who won?
Played Medal of Honor. We did.
Yeah, that's right. We did. Yeah.
Yeah, and we practiced and had tryouts. We practiced and had people like the highest scored people got to play. And then I remember marching over to ER to play them. We were like shit talking and sending like flyers back and forth with our prop department. And ER was like the big show on the Warner Brothers lot.
But who played with you? Like, was it the cool ER people?
I don't know. They were all really into Medal of Honor, and they all played.
Because I doubt that Noah Wiley and George Clooney were there playing with
No,
you.
we thought-
Maybe Anthony Edwards.
We thought Noah Wiley would be there. We kept sending like flyers with his picture on it to shit talk him.
Was Eric LaSalle there?
I don't remember.
I do remember it was cool because we were in the hospital set with their computer
in the admitting ER
in the admitting ER area with some of the computers were the computers that they used
Yeah, and then they had a
props.
giant monitor off to the side
That's
with a
right.
lounge where guests could watch the game that was catered. And we walked in and they had all these like Emmy Award winning this and that. We were like, fuck these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we walked really like the Bad News Bears. And
Bad News Bears.
they were all on PCs and we were all on Macs. Like it was a perfect fuck you match. And the big popular show against the scrappy Drew Carey show. And the drama against the goofy sitcom.
Yeah.
And we marched over there and they used a mod and they won the first game.
They did have a mod, yes.
Because they had a mod and we were like, what's the fuck is this mod bullshit? And we made them take the mod off and then we beat them the next two games.
What was the mod of?
I don't even remember.
It was a sniper mod where they could snipe better. And we made them take the mod away and then the next two games we beat them. So we won 2 out of 3. And it came down to the third game. It was really exciting.
So they cheated, basically.
Well, they used mods without our permission and without knowledge. So yeah,
Because it would only been a good mod if their team and your team could.
that's what we were.
And then
saying.
they were canceled years later, but they were canceled.
Right.
Yeah.
At some point, they were canceled.
Yeah,
It just shows you don't fuck with the Drew Carey
And
show.
now they're back as the Pit.
yeah,
Yes.
they really are. That's the complaint from the. I think there's a lawsuit, isn't there?
Oh, really?
Or something.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Like the Crichton Estate or something.
Yeah, the Crichton Estate is
Wow.
suing them. Yeah,
Oh, because Noah Wiley's in it?
They're saying it's
that's
just
a rip off of ER. It's just ER with a different name.
But on all ER shows, I mean, it's kind of the ER is the ER.
Well, you tell that to the judge, man.
Yeah.
Your Honor, the ER is the ER.
You're calling it the emergency area in your show, which is slightly different than emergency room.
That is true.
We had Noah Wiley change his name legally.
To know a Wiley.
There's a little, there's a hyphen.
Yeah, there's a hyphen.
No A Wiley.
No a Wiley.
What season of Price are you in? Let me take a look.
I'm going to be starting my 19th season in end of July. I just got done with 18 years.
Wow. So you started, okay.
Blows my mind. When people say that, like, oh my God, that's so long. I'm going, LeBron's been in the NBA for like 22 years or something.
Has he?
21.
That's because I still remember him as a rookie just thinking, oh, this is the kid.
Out of high school.
Yeah, out of high school. The phenom.
Yeah.
And now we've been doing it for, this is our
He's been
17th
playing in
season.
that and
So
fucking
17.
BA
What?
for longer than I've been in a host of Prices Right.
You
You know what I mean?
His feet, they just showed a picture of his feet and the abuse. It's horrible. No, I don't know if it's from that. I don't think it's feet.
For those listening, Wayne made Drew made a gesture with his
Don't
hand.
you talk about LeBron's feet.
No, I don't. No,
With
the
those
poor
grapes
man.
with those grapes right in front of me. Like,
And he's
Bowl of grapes on the table.
so we've been doing it for 17 years.
yeah, right behind me.
Wow.
Does anyone ever say to you, this is a private joke for me and Wayne, does
Never.
anyone ever say to you, hey, you're on that show, let's make a deal?
No,
No one says that.
I know they don't.
After all these years, folks, no slam against anyone in particular, but some people think that the only interaction that they can have with someone that they see on TV is, I have to say the clever or funny thing. Watch this. I say to you watching or listening to us, just say hi, because the watch this is never going to end well for you. It starts off with, hey, Mr. Hey, that Price is Right, ain't it? And they catch me at 7:00 in the morning. I say, why don't you ask Drew?
Oh, I just let it slide.
Awkward silence.
I just let it slide.
I can't.
And then
I
we
can't.
call you. You never answer to talk to the guy.
I don't give a fuck. I get, hey, where's Mimi? And, I got to tell you a funny story. When I first got this show, I announced it on the Letterman show when I first got Price is Right. And it got down to the wire where I was in the makeup chair at Letterman, still finalizing my deal.
Wow.
And honestly, like 10 minutes later, if we hadn't finished the deal while I was in the makeup chair at Letterman, I would have had nothing to talk about on Letterman. He would have said, so you got some news for us? And I would have had to say, nope, not tonight. And that would have been, but the whole idea of me being on the show was
to promote it.
Was to promote that I was the new host. And I was in the makeup chair.
But wait, was that for the pilot or was that for a pickup? That you were
to be the host of the show, so I could be announced that I was the host.
Oh,
of the
Price
show.
is Right. You're talking
Price
about.
is Right.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Price is Right, and I was CBS wanted me to announce it on Letterman. Oh, but the deal wasn't done yet, and I was in final negotiations on the phone with my agent in the fucking makeup chair. 10 minutes, 15 minutes before I was going to go on air, down to the wire. So nobody knew except agents, and then I was it finally got done, and I go, "Can I announce it? Because I'm about to go on." And they go, "Yeah, you can announce it. We'll do the paperwork. We're in verbal agreement. Don't worry about it." So then I went back to my hotel room and didn't talk to anybody because I had to get up early to do the CBS morning show. I get up to do the show, and I walk in the building, and I hadn't talked to anybody since Letterman. And one of the grips is on a ladder adjusting the lights or doing some shit. And he looks down and he goes, "Hey, man, come on down." And I looked up and I said, "Oh, I should get used to hearing that, huh?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, no shit." So I get a lot of "come on down," even though I'm not the one that says it.
That's hilarious.
I'm not the one that says "come on down," but they go, hey, come on down."
That's right. You wouldn't be the one to say
Hey, new car. And I go, "That's George."
that. People love what they love and they say what they say.
Yeah, I don't care. Where's Mimi? I get that a lot. Do you still keep in
Cleveland
touch?
Rocks. You probably get that a
Cleveland
bunch.
Rocks, yeah. Although I told Ryan Stiles when we were on the Drew Carey show doing Whose Line at the same time, I told him, I said, that Whose Line was going to be our legacy show because it was so fucking funny. We were on the funniest show ever that was on television.
Yeah.
Bar none.
I don't give a fuck about Lucy was funny. All these other shows are funny. Whose Line was the funniest show. And I always tell people like, "Oh yeah, well, I'll take any sitcom you want, put it up there with our show. We'll show it to a test audience with a laugh-o-meter.
Laugh for laugh.
Laugh for laugh.
Yep.
The funniest show ever on TV. And it really irks me when they don't include us in, funniest shows. It's always sitcoms or whatever.
Yeah.
That's like Whose Line was the funniest show ever.
Yeah, we get the love, but not the respect.
Yeah, I said that's going to be our legacy show. And sure enough, people see me and they go, "Man, I loved you on Whose Line."
Yeah.
Hardly anybody mentions the Drew Carey show
Well,
where I made all my money.
But you haven't. The Drew Carey show has not been very accessible,
Right.
like a lot of the other sitcoms, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Whose Line was in reruns
Yeah.
and everything. Yeah. Oh, well. It was the lowest cost production show on television at the time. Like our show was the least to put on.
Half scam, half show.
Half scam, half show.
Half scam, half show.
Yeah. And it was like so inexpensive for them to put on, almost like a throwaway. Like they could make money no matter what,
Yeah.
no matter what time slot they gave us. And I think that's another reason they were like, "Oh yeah, that thing," even though it was really popular because they didn't have to spend a lot of money on it. It just kind of ran itself. They didn't have to give us, there was no notes to give. When I first when I first was pitching the show, Dan Patterson was already trying to sell it as a syndicated something or other. He was in town when I met him first.
You were independently pitching that idea before I'm confused.
So I was reading an article about how this is years ago, of course, where, television was having trouble in the summertime because they were on a normal schedule and these summer shows weren't really going. And, cable was introducing shows in the summer. And I was like, I know Ryan does this show, Whose Line Is It Anyway? I bet we could do that as a summer show. Oh. And I went to Ryan and I go, "We should do this as a summer show." And he goes, "Well, Dan Patterson's in town trying to pitch it." So we arranged a meeting with Dan, came to see us do improv at the Improv on a Thursday night. And he was already trying to sell it. That's why he was in town. He was having a meeting with another studio I won't name,
Sure.
who did not want to use Ryan and did not want to use Colin. Because Ryan was tall and big-eared and Colin was old. And they wanted to use Kennedy from the VJ
Yeah.
to host the show. And there was another VJ guy that was on MTV all the time. They wanted to use him as
Bill
one of the
Bellamy.
performers.
Kurt Loder.
No. It was handsome looking, dark-haired guy, young. I can't remember his name. Nice. I mean, all nice people.
Yeah, nice people. Yeah.
But they wouldn't have been funny.
Not as funny as us.
Right.
And they were like, "Oh, we got to populate this with stars." And I'm like, "No, you're going to make stars.
Yeah.
Like just put them on the air and they'll become stars. You don't want to do that." And I remember there was like a big discussion with ABC because then we had ABC come in and watch us do improv on Thursday. The Drew Carey show cast used to go do improv at the Improv on Thursday. That was my fuck you to everybody else on TV every week. We're like, "Yeah, bring your cast in if they're so funny."
That's
Without
good.
the writers, and let's see how they do. Because I thought we had the funniest cast, so we proved it every week at the Improv by doing live improv. And that's the whole germination for the idea of getting Whose Line on the air anyway. It was always just me with a chip on my shoulder, honestly, about not getting respect from anybody were like, "What's wrong with you that you can't see how funny the show is?" That was like I was always a thing that bugged me. Not anymore. I mean, I'm over all that now. A lot of therapy, but you know what I mean. Like you really do. The lack of respect that
absolutely
eats at you.
I was thinking to myself the other day, how many things I do still are driven by the want to prove or feeling disrespected. Or earlier you were talking about imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Trying to prove either to someone or myself that what I'm saying or doing is absolutely good and valid. And I don't think that thing stops.
Me too.
Maybe the chip on the shoulder gets whittled down, but for me, that chip is kind of my driving force.
Yeah, that's like the Cleveland in me coming out. My whole life I watched Johnny Carson make fun of Cleveland. People made Cleveland jokes all the time. A stick on the lake, river caught on fire. I mean, with good reason. It wasn't like they had
Right.
It wasn't like they didn't have good reasons to make fun of the city.
But it's not theirs though.
Right. I really had a chip on my shoulder like, fuck you, I'm going to set my show in Cleveland. The Midwest isn't Chicago all the fucking time. There's other cities besides LA and New York. I'm going to put it in Cleveland. It's a great city. That's where I'm from. Nothing wrong with it.
They have nice hotels now.
Yeah. So, I mean, I had this Cleveland chip on my shoulder like, oh yeah, we'll show you.
You showed them.
Yeah.
Before I let you go, I've got a question that I didn't know. I just saw this on the sheet and I was like, man, I haven't watched Price in a long time because I didn't know this.
I never watch it. I hate seeing myself on TV.
Same. But I love watching Jonathan.
I watch it every episode, so I keep lists of all the fuck ups you losers do.
Do you?
Well, you're live for
no.
my mess ups.
That's right.
You say I love you at the end of every show. Why do you say that? Because I used to say that too.
I started doing it because, I don't know. I say it to all my friends, everybody.
Has he ever said that to you?
He says it to strangers. Anyone he meets, he says it. The value is very low.
Yeah, you never said that to me.
Well, I use it all the time. And I think it's important to say to people because, fuck you.
What if a bus
You asked
hits
for it.
us on our way out of Headgum Studios? If you get hit by a bus and you don't hear I love you first.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? Why not tell people you love them? I really appreciate the audience watching and keeping me in business and letting me make money. And I appreciate the joy we share together in this hour with no politics, no stress, nothing on the line except watching normal people have a great day and have the time of their life. And it's a really loving environment to be in. And I just want to let people know that, I love you. I appreciate you. Thanks for doing this. And I also, I've had a lot of mental health problems and through therapy and everything and self-help books and a lot of work have improved and gotten over them. But, I know there's a lot of people out there that suffer and I want them to know that they're not alone and that they can get help and it's okay, especially men. Like there's so many men who are parts of toxic masculinity is that it's toxic to the men. Because men don't want to ask for help. That's why most homeless people are men.
Yeah.
They're afraid to ask for help. They're ashamed to ask for help. That's one reason why there's domestic violence, because if a man's not in charge or feeling like he's the man, he wants to lash out, to prove he's the man or to prove nobody can argue with him. There's all these extra stress and heart attacks and suicides and everything that men suffer for more than anybody else because they have these toxic beliefs that they're not allowed to. I don't like the gender emotions either, like the idea that there's feminine emotions and male emotions. There's just emotions, but men are told to suppress empathy. They're told to suppress love.
Bottle it up.
When you hug, it's 3 taps and release. Hug, 3 taps, let go. You don't want to.
Nothing wrong with a little bit of that.
Nothing. But men are afraid to express love and men don't want to cry. Men don't want to show emotions. Men want to be tough all the time. There's still that stat where like 60% of men don't ask for directions, which is insane to me as a Marine. Yeah. If somebody was late or couldn't show up, like what happened? Well, I was lost, but dudes don't ask for directions. I would have punched him if I was in the Marines. Everybody in the platoon would have taken turns punching this guy. Like what the fuck are you talking about? You find a way to get there. That's my idea, but they don't think it's manly to be weak, or show this kind of love. So I want to fight against that. Like you're told to suppress that. It's not a feminine, weak emotion to show love and empathy and kindness. It's a human emotion that we all have, but because we're men, we're just told that we're not allowed to have that, and women are told they're allowed that they are. So they even gender emotions for us to make sure that we don't get a hold of them.
I'm so happy that you are on that side, and that's something that I never knew. Like it's because I knew about the mental health problems because you've been very vocal and verbal about that, and I think I have too, and have talked about those things. So it's funny to people, especially being on game shows. We love using the game show as that sweet medicine. Because yes, we give away the prizes and we do that, but we love exactly what you're saying. Letting these people have these best days, making people feel good about themselves, empowering people to at least just for this hour or 2 hours rather, because we're back to back, just enjoy yourselves and let stuff go. And we joke all the time about, ridiculous shit on the show in the middle of these games in the hope that we're reaching people that need to be reached.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, don't you like dopamine?
Hey, you know what? I just I've had a couple ketamine ketamine
I've been
therapies.
Toying with that.
It's and everyone listening, I'm not saying that I'm at home using. No, there are licensed therapists who they walk you through a therapy regimen, a program where you are in a session. And you are administered teeny little bit, and you go under, and you have this session, and it helps you with all these issues that you've been bottling up to that toxic masculinity thing. Yeah. And I found that it's made me a better dad, a better guy, a better friend, a better actor, a better host. I show up to work full of love and understanding and empathy for other people. So it's not just a gig. It's like I really love doing this thing.
Hey Wayne, I like you as a friend, man.
Oh,
He didn't say love.
man, I didn't get the
He
love.
didn't say love. 1, 2, 3 taps.
Oh man. Oh well, I tap it 3 times before.
You tap it 3 times?
I tap it 3 times.
Tapped your mama.
Hey man, you want some of this? What? Whoa! You just talked about how he was so nice to your mom. That's right. He tapped her 3 times.
Carey tapped my mom 3 times.
Yeah, took her to a Phish concert and everything.
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Drew.
Oh, thanks.
Carey.
Thanks, everybody. Love you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, you say you love you to the audience, but not to me.
Wow, I don't want everybody to think I'm gay if I love somebody.
This guy.
That's what people are afraid of. They're, that's.
I love you, Drew Carey. I love you, Jonathan Mangum.
I love
Tap,
you too,
tap,
Wayne.
Tap, tap, three times.
I love you too,
Bye,
Jonathan.
everybody. What if I loved you?
That was a Headgum podcast.